This is the Forbidden Lexicanum, 40k lore told with questionable accuracy and the sole purpose to make you laugh. The Salamanders, officially the 18th Legion of the Astartes, unofficially the friendly neighborhood geckos. While other space marines brought honor and glory to the galaxy with grim faces and shiny bolters, the Salamanders were the only ones who occasionally said, wait, maybe we shouldn't blow up the civilians' homes, maybe we should build them new ones. That alone made them unique and suspicious, because in the Imperium, empathy is basically heresy. The Emperor wanted a legion of annihilation and got a bunch of firefighters with flamethrowers. The Primarch Vulcan was perhaps the kindest giant the Emperor ever grew in a test tube. He was the embodiment of big, strong and soft inside. While Perturabo stacked concrete, Fulgrim posed in front of mirrors, and Angron screamed into the void, Vulcan stood in his forge, drenched in sweat, thinking, maybe I should make bicycles for the kids on Nostromo. Some say he once built a flamethrower that could also heat cocoa. Others claim he made a power armor that deployed a warm blanket when needed. His creations were legendary, weapons so beautiful and deadly that even the Mechanicum drooled. But Vulcan himself, always smiling, always asking, need anything, neighbor? After every victory he'd say, right, time to help the survivors rebuild. He was the only Primarch who truly understood that Astartes were made for humans, not as narcissistic supermodels in armor. The problem? In the grim darkness of the far future, humanity fits about as well as fairy lights on a plasma cannon. The Salamanders hailed from Nocturne, a giant intergalactic lava cake. Rivers of magma, volcanic eruptions, and temperatures so high even orcs would invent air conditioning. The people there, tough as caramid, sun-scorched and stubborn enough to impress an imperial bureaucrat. Every year, continents shifted, cities sank into molten rock, and every morning people just went, we'll rebuild. The armor was black as night, with green highlights, because Gecko Chick sells. And yes, they loved building their own gear. Every marine forged his own weapon, meaning no two bolters looked the same. Some had engravings, some had flame motifs, and one apparently had a bottle opener. Their craftsmanship was so good, tech priests broke into salamander depots at night just to steal blueprints. No wonder they are known as the artisans of the Astartes. And yet they were humble. While the Blood Angels wrote tragic poetry, the Space Wolves emptied kegs, and the Dark Angels sweated mysteriously under their hoods, the Salamanders baked cookies for the neighborhood. It's said that Vulcan once declared, with great flame comes great responsibility. And from that day on, every salamander carried not only a flamer, but the sacred duty to protect their neighborhood. Spider-Man would have cried tears of joy. Their doctrine was simple. Fire. Flames. More fire. They adored flamers, melters, plasma guns, basically anything that could turn an orc camp into a barbecue. Their battle plans usually read, first, light it up. Second, check what's still moving. You might think they were pyromaniacs, but no, they were pyrophilanthropists. They torched the enemy, saved the survivors, and then host a cookout. While the World Eaters screamed and the Emperor's children sang opera, the Salamanders marched through infernos like firefighters on steroids. Except when they were done, they saved people and fired up the grill. Among all the legions full of pathos, secrets, and drinking horns, the Salamanders just stood there and said, hey, we're nice. Many called them too human, which basically meant they ruin our reputation by hugging civilians. While Ultramarines gave speeches and Dark Angels sulked under their hoods, the Salamanders built playgrounds. No joke. Some still stand today, welded by power-armored babysitters. That made them outsiders. In the Imperium, Space Marines are supposed to be godlike, distant, terrifying. The Salamanders said, sure, but wouldn't you rather your god helped you move furniture? Reports tell of squads staying behind after battles to rebuild homes, fix toys, or host their famous post-battle barbecues. In some regions, they were known as Uncle Vulcan's Do-It-Yourself Squad. But behind all that warmth lay tragedy. The Salamanders were among the smallest legions. On paper, 100,000. In reality, more like a big bowling club. And what few brothers they had, they lost quickly, especially at Eastbound 5. While other legions bathed in betrayal or blood, the Salamanders just got mowed down. Vulcan himself fell, was captured, tortured, killed, and came back. And died. And came back. And died. You get the idea. The man had a hobby, not staying dead. At some point, his brothers just sighed, "Oh great, Vulcan's dead again. Give it a minute." Some texts claim he resurrected so many times he lost count. Wait, was that death number 27 or 28? Legend says that in one dark hour Vulcan discovered an ancient Terran song. Aber bitte mit Sahne bei Udo Jürgens. He understood none of it, but the idea of cake stuck with him. On Nocturne the song became an anthem, slightly adapted, aber bitte mit lava. It's said that Vulcan once blew up a whole continent just to prove how fluffy lava could be. To this day the Salamanders celebrate the rite of the lava cake, half memorial, half barbecue. Their rivalries? None. They are the nice guys. Even the Iron Warriors, who hate literally everyone, looked at them and said, "Fine, they can stay." That doesn't mean they're harmless. Their wrath is like lava itself. Rare, slow, but once it flows, everything burns. Enemies report there's nothing worse than being set on fire by a salamander who softly says, "Sorry, brother, duty calls." The irony? They were the kindest warriors and walking infernos at the same time. Civilians loved them, enemies hated them, and the High Lords were just confused. Why do people worship the Salamanders? Because they help rebuild their homes. That's not grimdark enough. The culture was built on human closeness. They held rituals not only for the Emperor, but for the villagers who baked them bread. A salamander never saw himself as a god, always a protector. If a child on Nocturne asked, "Can you build me a sword?" he'd probably get a mini flamer instead. Even today, Forge Worlds still produce tiny weapons engraved "From Uncle Vulcan with love." But humanity comes at a price. They were small, weaker than other legions, and their compassion made them a target of mockery. Perturabo once called them the fire brigade of the Imperium, to which a salamander calmly replied, "And we'll put out your next burnout, brother." They never saw themselves as demigods. To ordinary people, the salamanders were hope, the friendly neighborhood geckos. Big, green, armed with flamers, and always ready to reforge your front door after the last explosion blew it off. Today the salamanders are smaller than ever, but they still stand. No chapter is as close to the people as they are. In a galaxy drowning in drama, they remain the proof that the Astartes were meant to protect, not to post selfies in golden armor. Conclusion: the salamanders, the friendly neighborhood geckos, they extinguish fires while starting new ones, grill Tyranids, and still offer you a slice of lava cake. In a universe of gods, demons, and despair, they prove that even in the grimdark future, there is still room for a smile. And for a cake. The Emperor wanted a legion of annihilation and got a bunch of firefighters with flamethrowers. You might think they were pyromaniacs, but no, they were philanthropists. They were pyrophilanthropists. Philanthropists. They were pyrophilanthropists.